There was a time I was completely broke. Not tight on money. I mean nothing. Rent was overdue, my M-Pesa at zero, a tin of flour and water, and that's it. I remember one day when I was going to work, sitting in a matatu. It was very noisy. My head was pressed against the window, doing all those calculations we all know too well. If I skip lunch for 3 days, maybe I can stretch this. And that's when I saw her. A woman, maybe late 40s, with a small kiondo. This is a traditional basket. And quietly roaming and selling sweets to passengers. No noise, no big displays, just a calm confidence. And one by one, people bought. 10 bob here, 5 bob here, 20 shillings there. And actually, one man bought 5. And I sat there stunned. Because in that moment, it dawned on me. I realized something that no one had ever taught me. That money is everywhere. You just have to learn to see it. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Miss Wangoi Mwethaki, your personal finance and investment coach, and welcome back to my channel. You see, when I saw that woman, I wasn't shocked that she was selling. We see that every day, okay? Hawkers all over the place. I was shocked at what I hadn't seen until then. All my life, I thought money came from official things, employment, big businesses, and things like salaries. I thought if you didn't have those, it means you're stuck. But this woman, she was creating income out of thin air, out of a kiondo, in a matatu. She didn't wait until she has a shop or a business loan, and neither did she wait for a perfect time. She saw what already was in her hands and used it. And right there and then, I started asking myself, what else have I been blind to? After that ride, I couldn't stop seeing things differently. I remember once being invited to someone's birthday. I didn't even want to go. I was broke. I had nothing. But I showed up. And the entire evening, I just sat down and watched people interact. The food was catered. The decorations were handmade. There was a DJ, and a friend brought personalized wine glasses as a gift. You can imagine how out of place I felt. I looked around and thought, somebody got paid for every single thing, Somebody went home with money. That's when it hit me. Every frustration, every need, every event in life, someone, somewhere is getting paid to solve it. But you see, the problem is, most of us don't see that because we are used to be the consumers. We consume it. And for me, that was the first time I truly saw the engine behind daily life. And it wasn't just about business, it was about value. See, I had grown up with a scarcity mindset. I'm not blaming anyone about that. It happens to most of us. For one reason or another, I believed money was limited. That if someone had it, it meant someone else had less. I thought to myself that rich people were greedy and that unless you have connections, you'd always struggle. You see, all that is just mindset. Anyways, but then later, I met a man who sold firewood using discarded tree trunks from a construction site. Free raw material. All he had to do was just chop and bundle. And there it is, money. Another woman I met bought second-hand clothes from Gikomba, washed them, and resold them to boutique owners. And one thing these people had in common is they didn't wait for permission, they didn't wait for capital, they just looked differently at what was already around them. Now that's abundance. It's not about ignoring struggle. It's about believing that there's enough to create more, to build, and to solve. For me, this was a turning point. I decided to take a risk. So I took a risk. I wrote down everything I was good at, not certified, just good at. Writing, explaining things, research, organization. I created a short post offering to help people create budgets and track their money. I shared it on WhatsApp. I got one client, 1,000 Kenya shillings, then two more. I wasn't rich, but I had seen money appear from nothing. And I finally understood you don't find money. You recognize it, you create it. But this can only happen when you shift your awareness. Here is what nobody tells you, that if you can't see your own money clearly, you won't recognize money in the world. So when I started tracking my spending, I found patterns, daily purchases that were habits and not needs. This was money slipping away from me quietly. That's when it hit me. I wasn't broke because there was no money. I was broke because I wasn't seeing it. Okay? I wasn't seeing it, I wasn't respecting it, and most of all, I was not directing it. So the moment I began budgeting, not just with numbers, but with purpose, that's when my mind opened up. I began to notice, wait, I have 3 hours free every Sunday. What could I offer them? This skill that I take for granted. People out there actually pay for it. And these shoes right here that I haven't worn in a year, could they become capital for something? Money becomes a lens, not a destination. So if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever looked at your life and thought, there's nothing here to work with, I want to tell you this. You are standing in a field full of seeds, but you've been trained to only see the harvests in someone else's land. The skill is not waiting. The skill is seeing. Seeing problems as invitations. Seeing time as a tool. And seeing yourself as a generator of value, not just a consumer. Everywhere I look now, I see potential. Not because I'm special. No. That's not what I'm saying. But because I retrained my eyes, which is something I think you should do for yourself. Retrain your eyes to be able to see opportunities that are right in front of you. Okay? You can simply do the same. You don't need a huge business plan. All you need is curiosity. You need attention. You need to ask, where is value being created? And most especially, how can I participate? Because once your eyes are open, you, my friend, will never go back. I'm Miss Wangui Muthathi, your personal finance and investment coach, and I'll see you in the next video.